I want to talk about a very important concept when it comes to controlling the Kimura Trap during the transition. And this is when you're going from your entry to basically establishing the Kimura Trap, the Kimura T position. Let me just show you. So he is laying down. I'm going to get him inside. I'm going to be inside his half guard. And I work for the Kimura Trap. This is one of the more common entries. I come down, I get out, and now look. We end up in this scenario where I'm basically very far away from him. It looks like from the outside that he should be able to just escape because everything is essentially so far. This is defying like the common sense concepts of basically close control of grappling, right? Where I want to basically be tight to him so I can control him. However, with the Kimura Trap, there's going to be situations where you actually want to be disconnected because it creates more fluidity, it creates more ability for you to establish your positions, and it creates more control. In this instance, right, even though we're so far away, because I have his hand close to his belly button, because I have his hand close to his hip line, it's actually harder for him to turn into me. Even though he might feel like he can turn into me, because so many people, even him, like my opponents, are going to think they could just easily turn into me. However, when he goes to turn into me, because his hand is stuck to his belly button, it's actually very hard. I'm doing this here. Now, once I come into the T position, then I'll be able to control him a little bit more. However, when I feel like I'm losing everything, right? Let's say he's slipping away. Right, look, I'm going to push his hand to his belly button. Because now when he goes to turn into me, it's going to be difficult. I have to push his hand towards his belly button, especially if I'm not able to follow him. Right? I want to be able to follow him ideally, so he goes to scoot away. I want to be able to follow him ideally, but if I cannot, I push his hand to his belly button. This is going to establish so much control on my opponent and make it harder for him to turn into me. If he's able to take his hand and bring it to his chest, this is not good for me. I don't want his hand on his chest. If his hand is on his chest, now when I try to drop him back down and keep him down, basically through my arm positioning, go, I cannot stop him. I can't do it. It's very hard. Let's turn this way. Look, this is wrong. If his hand is up by his chest here, I cannot stop this position. This is going to be a lot more difficult for me to control my opponent because he actually has better leverage. I don't want this. So when he goes to turn, look, I'm trying to stop him. I cannot stop him. I'm going to have to like bail out, or when he goes, boom, look, I put his hand to his stomach. It's such a big difference. Like, he feels a big difference. As soon as I do this and I put his hand to his belly button, his ability to turn into me highly decreases. So when you have this disconnect, let's say, for example, Elliot's sitting in front of me, right? We're here. I come through and I do a rolling Kimura Trap. Bam! My hand goes towards his stomach. He goes to turn into me. He can't. At this point, it gives me time to now work to attack and possibly go for his back or something else. So, in my opinion, this is one of the most underrated concepts and one of the most important concepts of the Kimura Trap that people do not understand. You want to take their hands and your hands and push them to their belly button, as low to the hip as possible, because it creates a leverage in regards to controlling your opponent that just does not happen if their hand is up here. So if their hand is up by their chest, they have an ability to escape. If their hand is down by their stomach and their belly button, their ability to escape highly decreases. So remember this concept, because this concept is going to increase your control a lot, and it's going to save you so much when your opponent tries to escape. It's going to work well when they try to turn into you. It's going to work well when they try to slide down. It's just essentially going to create overall good control. Even when I'm here, right? I have the Kimura Trap and I push his hand down to his belly button and his head is away from me, right? When he goes to slide and put his head, let's say he goes to go the opposite direction, right? And he tries to bring his body over me, right? I can walk away, keep his hand on his belly button, and still be disconnected. So this hand, bring it like that, this hand on his belly button is actually an extremely good control for me to have against him, and it's going to create a dynamic control that I can then work towards for me going to my attacks. So highly, highly recommend that you keep this concept in your brain because it's going to make your position a lot stronger.